Is that as loud as you can get it?
My big brother is awfully sick. He's got a froggy down in his throat. It's true, I heard it. He can't sing a single note. Whoa, whoa, Dr. Looney, will you fix him up? Whoa, whoa, whoa. All you got to do is put in the groove, stir up the groove, make it.
That is absolutely wild that was in the beginning of a Goofy movie on the VHS. Mm-hmm. How would you even, as a band, how would you even negotiate something like that?
Yeah, we're gonna perform in the opening of a Goofy movie. That is our big break to fame. And then, does anybody know any song that they did other than that?
No, I mean it's a whole CD.
What's the name of the band?
Parachute Express.
Parachute Express.
Parachute
Never
Express.
heard of them besides in that. I've
Let
only ever heard
me
the
see
song.
if they're on Spotify.
That would be wild. But welcome back to another episode of the S Bros podcast. It's me, Armando.
Hello, it's Aaron.
And we're going to be going down because we watched the Planet of the Apes. Which one did we watch?
We watched Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, where we got to see a little bit of the ape society having built up. They had survived what they thought was all the humans. Surprise, many humans are still alive.
Many humans are still alive. Side note, absolutely bonkers. Parachute Express. They came out with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 albums in 1998 alone. And then nothing until 2005.
Really?
And that was it. That's the only thing.
All right, we'll go
9 albums in 1998.
We'll go through their discography and let everybody know what that's like.
Album 1, Who's Got a Hug? Album 2, Sunny Side Up. Album 3, Shaking It.
Wow. How many songs are in those albums on like average? We're talking about like 3 songs an album.
13 on the first one.
Wow.
14 on the second one.
Wow.
15 on the third.
Wow. They are just releasing and producing.
You got
music.
Over Easy, Happy to Be Here, Friends Forever Friends, Feel the Music, Dr. Looney's Remedy.
Wild.
That one has 14 songs.
Those people worked. How did they get hooked up with a Goofy movie?
We're
going to have to figure this out, actually. We're going to have to go down this rabbit hole.
Don't Blink has 14 songs, June 2nd, 2005.
All right. We're going to take a pause because I want to see if I can find the answer to where they got hooked up with a Goofy movie.
Okay, and I'm going to play some of their songs. Okay, so we just went in a little bit of a rabbit hole about the Parachute Express.
Yeah, never
listened
really,
to a couple of their songs.
Yeah, never really remember much about this band. I wouldn't have even remembered them as a band besides the fact that they had done the opening song in the Goofy movie VHS release. Yeah. But upon looking in, there was this thing that Disney did where it was, what was it called? The Music Box Artist Series. And there was like a handful of bands that were in that actually got their start from this. But here, the thing that's wild, especially now post-COVID, if you told people, like even when we were younger, when somebody got the chicken pox.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that song, Chickenpox Party, is from their 2005 album, Don't Blink. Now, in this song, you can look it up yourself. In this song, they're talking about how on the nursery school gate, there's a sign with an address and a date because one of their friends had gotten sick. And all the parents wanted to hop on this quick. And so they had a chickenpox party where you bring all your kids, you make them share something like a drink or a sucker, like a lollipop or something like that.
Basically passing around this
just
sucker that is
passing around spit and stuff, so they can all get chickenpox because the earlier the better.
All I remember is Allie coming over to the house when you were very little because either her or you had chickenpox.
Nope, she did.
She did. And I did. This is my memory of it. I don't know how real this is. Okay. I just remember you two sitting on the floor, facing each other, just sucking the
Passing it back and forth from lick for lick.
That's my memory.
Lick
of that.
for lick.
That's what I remember.
Crazy.
Do you remember?
Not at all.
You
of
don't
course
remember
not.
that at all?
The only
okay,
thing I
gotcha,
remember
gotcha.
from having chicken pox was the deaky little like swimming pool we had in the back like deck thing, and all I had was a giant shirt on, no underwear, and I'm just taking laps in that pool because I was so itchy, and being in there was just like a little bit of relief.
Well, because Mom used to do oatmeal baths. Do you remember that?
Well, yeah, but that
Yeah.
In the bathtub, not in the swimming pool. When I say swimming pool, I'm talking one of those plastic little
I know
rings that you can get.
I didn't expect it to be anything more than that. So.
Yeah. But we're on a podcast. We're not on TV. People can't see my little expressions.
I grew up with you. I remember that we did not.
But our audience of 13 people didn't grow up with me.
That's true. All 13.
Actually,
13.
yeah.
Which we found out today at dinner is occasionally our father. So.
Occasionally our father.
Hey, Dad. Shout out, Dad. So, but yeah, it's just kind of crazy thinking about that parachute. Oh,
You had some juicy
yeah.
news.
So here's another thing that they ended up doing is, where was that info? I wanted to read it straight off here.
What
They
happened?
did the theme song to JJ the Jet Plane.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't have ever guessed that, dude. I would never have guessed that. Kind of
Weird.
wild, yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure they did other things, but that was the one where I was like, holy crap, dude, they did JJ.
The one where
Jet
it's
Plane.
the piano thing where it's like dun 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 dun. No, that's Thomas.
JJ the Jet Plane here. Hold on a second.
Well, I have
look it up.
I have a supercomputer in my pocket.
Well, look it up. Look it up. Yeah, JJ the Jet Plane, dude. That little. For some reason, I was gonna say, "Cause we're leaving on a jet plane," but that's not that song.
Expedia, or your trip.
That's also not the song.
That's a YouTube ad. I need to pay for premium.
Watch all the JJ episodes
It's only good for your channel.
Yeah.
Was this what you had in mind?
Not at all.
Friends taking off and friends touching down. That's
Crazy.
We haven't even talked about Planet of the Apes yet.
Crazy.
We were just going down Parachute Express's career.
Yeah. Which is great content, but still, what a
nobody gets
horrifying cartoon, JJ the Jet Plane. Look at that.
That's such a scary thing. I never even realized that. What a wild looking plane.
Google
Who
it
thought that was
right
a good
now.
idea?
Google that right now. It's literally just a baby's, like, well, not even a baby. It looks like a grown man animated as a baby, but just the face put on a plane.
I'm going to be posting up little clips of JJ the Jet Plane during this moment. So
That's
if
insane.
you're watching on YouTube, you can see it.
You know what face that looks like? That looks like from Jimmy Neutron, Bulbous, the kid who loved the kebabs.
I don't remember this kid. I don't remember this kid at all. He loved kebabs.
He loved
His name was Bulbous.
I think so. Hold on. Let me look it up
I
real
was gonna
quick.
say you need to look that up, dude. I don't know if that's true or not. Bulbous. What a wild name to give a character. And he likes kebab.
He loved Bulby
Bulby.
Stroganovsky.
Bulby Stroganovsky. It's good to know that we can be racist against, like, you know.
This kid.
Yeah.
Do you remember that
I
kid?
remember that kid exactly. Yeah, holy crap.
Oh, he's the foreign exchange student from Bakharistan. Mm-hmm. What a great character for Jimmy Neutron.
Making a Middle Eastern kid.
Oh, that's funny.
Bakharistan. Jesus.
Bakharistan.
That's funny. Wow, wild. All right.
Wow.
That's
So,
the tangent. we went
speaking
down.
of back hair, Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes.
Got a lot of back hair on these apes.
ton of back hair on the
Ton of
apes.
back hair.
Okay, so let's.
What did you think of the movie?
So, having seen this before a while ago,
Okay.
a lot of parts I didn't even remember. The movie overall, I thought it was very good. The beginning part, it's some interesting symbolism.
What do you mean?
By that, so the part at the beginning where Koba jumps through the air to stab the grizzly bear that looks terrible as it's roaring and attacking
Well, who
Caesar.
cares that it looks terrible? Did you
It's-
buy that it
it's-
was a grizzly bear?
It's part of. No, I mean, just because I know what a grizzly bear looks like. Yeah, I understand what they were going for, but it looked terrible.
It's a mutated grizzly bear.
Dude, that was.
It's not a Chernobyl grizzly bear.
The CGI for that grizzly bear was terrible.
It wasn't the greatest.
Moving forward from
It
that,
wasn't the greatest.
Koba flying through the air and stabbing the grizzly bear.
Uh-huh.
That's how Koba gets taken out at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert. By Caesar. He flies through the air and takes him out from there because he had shot Maurice. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's funny because that was such a moment of brotherhood, of family. Because he's like, "Oh, you just saved me and my son. Thank you." And it's interesting because you really see. It's kind of wild because it really kind of goes through. I think they did a very good job with the character arc of Koba, where it was like, "Oh no, we're family, we're brothers," and then he just turns into this psychopathic killer.
I agree. I like
warlord.
I like that Koba was a returning character from the first one. It really, because there were like maybe a couple things that they brought over from that first film. Other than that, there's really no other connection that they have. Yes, you've got Maurice. Yes, you've got going into the house and seeing the video and the photographs. But other than that, there's nothing else that really connects it to the events of the first one, other than now monkeys can talk and Caesar's a character.
Well, and you know about the virus that killed all the humans
Yeah.
and stuff. They did a little montage at the beginning.
Having that exposition in the beginning of the film was really nice because they brush over it so fast in the first one. So you don't really get the
fact that there's a virus
that's killing everyone.
yeah.
So I thought that part was very cool. I liked getting to see just the apes living like, you know, a civilization. I thought that was very cool. I want to go back to those kind of days of just simple living. Yes, there's a lot that I'd have to learn. Don't look at me like that.
I'm not, you know, there's
Don't look at me like
I bet you'd kill it.
Exactly.
You'd eat
exactly.
it. You'd eat it.
I'd kill it and eat it and I'd
You'd
skin
eat
it and
You'd
I'd
be
wear
fine.
it.
You'd be
Exactly.
fine. Yeah.
Thank you.
You wouldn't get destroyed in the middle of the night by a jaguar. It's okay.
No, not at all. Not if I'm sleeping in a group. One of the guys on the outside would get eaten first.
What man are you cozying up to keep you warm so that way that he keeps you safe?
I don't know about a man.
A
don't know about a
really,
man.
really big lesbian.
I don't know about a man. I don't know about a lesbian or a woman or I don't see gender in 2024. I don't
You're right.
see.
You're right. That was
If they're all
judgmental
just
of me to say.
they're all just people.
So a shim.
Unless they don't want to be a people,
Unless
then
they
they
don't
can
wanna
be
be
what
people.
you know.
Yeah. So what shim are you showing?
Existence of which I'm speaking can be whichever existence consciousness can comprehend.
you know.
That's a rabbit hole that I could just continue going down.
That's true. That's true. So what shim are you snuggling up to?
Basically, if I could find the hairiest one, that would be the warmest during the winter, right?
The hairiest chick with a dick would be the hairiest. I can bleep anything. So
You
I can bleep anything.
see. Now you could do that, or I don't know if a chick with a dick. It could also just be an actual hairy man. Because what if I want the masculine and less feminine? But
That's true.
Because if it's the apocalypse times, I'm gonna need the hunter and provider.
You know, it's been interesting because I've been going through the Different Stars Above.
Yeah.
And they actually just went over this in a section of that book where back in the pioneering days of settlers that were coming over here in the late mid 1800s, so 1840, there was a lot of issues that I don't think people really understand that they would go through because you don't think about them today. They're not struggles that we would have.
Yeah.
If a woman was traveling along with like a man, like her husband and everything like that, and they had their family and everything, and the husband died, that was almost, I wouldn't say a death sentence, because frequently you would, like, the women would help out the other women, and you'd sometimes be able to get on with another family or something like that.
Yeah.
But basically, so reliant on making sure, I mean, for a woman whose skills relied solely on taking care of the household, like if she didn't know how to ride
Yeah.
a wagon, which a lot of European settlers didn't know at that time, And so, like, we didn't really know how to deal with the horses pulling or oxen pulling a wagon and stuff. So it's just interesting thinking about that. And you cuddling up to a hairy man. I was thinking about that.
There's in the game Red Dead Redemption 2, there's a moment where if you head to the northeastern part of the map, you can find a woman who is grieving by the grave of her husband. And your character, whether you see her as Arthur or, spoiler alert, John, you'll be interacting with her. A little cutscene will happen where you're just, didn't know anybody would be out here. Who are you? Type of thing. And, oh, okay. Well, do you have any food? And she says no. And you're like, do you know how to hunt? She says no. And so you spend a little time teaching her how to shoot, how to hunt, how to skin and things. And later you can go back to that area. And so if you go there as Arthur, later when you're playing as John, you can go back there and she will be there, and she'll let you take supplies and cans from her house because you knew Arthur. I
get it. She's somebody who helps you along the story later on.
Later on in the story, exactly. And you can see that she's now wearing leather. She's now got a bandolier across.
She took the abilities that would do that. Yes, and so guys would teach them that on that trail and stuff like that.
I was just talking about a cool moment.
Yeah, it's fine.
Cut me off all you want.
Yeah, that's right.
Whatever.
Whatever. That's fine.
Anyways, but that a lot of times they're. I know what you're saying. Basically, I was just piggybacking off what you were doing.
Yeah, dude, I get it. Yeah. I like it. I like
Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes. So,
everything else
I'm
aside.
glad that chick's wearing leather and everything, but Planet of the Apes, dude.
Planet of the Apes.
So
I liked the beginning. What do you think of the people, the humans that they chose to be a part of this story?
I mean, I love Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman is amazing.
He's awesome, and he's not in it very much, but he's very good in it.
Yeah.
I like the main guy who, what's his name? McAllister or McCracken or McCann.
Oh, you're talking his character name?
Yeah, I can't remember. But I also like the guy. I think he's a very good actor. He plays a bad guy a lot of times.
Malcolm.
Malcolm, there we go.
Malcolm.
Yeah, he was very, very good. I thought that I don't know, it was nice because it gave you... I kind of disagree with what you were saying, that there was really no reference to the first events.
I said there wasn't many.
My only point on that is that they did a good job at giving you the transition of the fact that these were just a group of humans that had survived the virus that were immune to it. So it gave you a little bit of that idea that not everybody was just subject to death on this. Human life finds a way.
Yeah, but that doesn't touch on the first one.
I'm not done with my point.
No, but how does that connect to the first one?
I'm not done with my point.
Oh, okay.
The character of Malcolm is very much a good bridge between whatever the name of James Franco's character was. And so
Will.
It gave you a little bit of that. There was a good transition moving forward, because the next movie is all about them just battling out with basically the government. The remainder of the humans that are like a metaforce or a mercenary force, basically. Correct?
Are you sure?
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
I'm
so then what are you speaking about?
Dude, you can answer the question because you've seen it. Is that true? Isn't it?
There are things.
Why don't you just say yes or no, dude?
Because I don't remember. It's been a long time.
That's all I need.
I only saw it once.
Basically, they fight paramilitary force.
I only saw it once.
The monkeys do.
Let's see. The synopsis of the third one is: Caesar and his apes are forced into deadly conflict with an army of humans led by ruthless Colonel Woody Harrelson after the apes suffer unimaginable losses. Mm-hmm. Caesar wrestles with his darker instincts and begins his own mythic quest to avenge his kind. As the journey finally brings them face to face, Caesar and the Colonel are pitted against each other in an epic battle that will determine the fate of both their species and the future of the planet.
And since there's the new one coming out,
I don't think
the apes dominate.
Oh, weird. Steve Zahn. Do you know who that is?
That was my question. Who the hell is that?
This guy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He is just... His character in this is just... It's titled Bad Ape.
He's the Bad Ape?
He's just Bad Ape.
Well,
it's not it's just Bad Ape.
Well, he's the buddy from Sahara? The Matthew McConaughey movie? Yeah,
I think I'm pretty sure that's the same guy.
Yeah. I like the aspect of the family dynamic that they give some of the. I don't know. It's there's parts of it that are funny about how they really they give room for the idea that they just sometimes feels like they're just kind of talking about black people in the movie.
What are you talking about?
So there's multiple scenes where they are kind of drawing a comparison as what the history of like not even okay, I wouldn't even say black people. It's kind of like humans coming to an area of natives. And that's like it's not necessarily like Avatar status, but it's kind of in that similar vein where it's like, no, we're people too kind of thing. And so when I said like black people, I meant like they clearly are going at it like an indigenous minority class.
There's that moment where the guy's like, "What? You're not sick when you look at them?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so you're like, okay, I understand that part, but it's not bad. I don't necessarily think it's negative. It's just a movie about apes that talk. So.
Also, I find that perspective that he had, that he blamed the apes. I find that perspective a little interesting, just because of
it's an interesting character to write.
Well, not only that, but because there would be people like that in the real world, even if what happened. If the events of the movie really happened, there would be people who, due to misinformation, along to just headline scrolling.
I understand what you're saying. Like
I believe like that kind of character would believe stuff like that.
Come up, yes.
But I find that interesting that you would just, because if you come from the world that we have now, if you come from the before world, you know that apes aren't doing jack shit. That it's literally us just testing on animals all the time.
Yeah, well, and then the other thing that was interesting is where they were talking about like ape doesn't kill ape. That's not true. Apes kill apes all the time.
It was after their third eye.
I get that.
Like it was after the opening of the third eye and lining of the chakras. Did you not watch the first film?
I did watch the first one. But what's that one called? It was on Netflix. It's called Chimp Nation or whatever.
Chimp Nation?
Yeah. Chimp Nation.
Okay.
They go over a lot of because
are chimps apes?
I mean, Caesar's a chimp.
Is he a chimp? I thought he was an ape. Is there a difference between chimp and ape? Look it up before you start spewing some crap.
Find out.
Look it up before you start spewing some crap. And I'm going to cross-reference so that I don't just get your biased right-wing websites.
You're ridiculous. Chimpanzees are not monkeys, but they are apes. I asked, is an ape a chimp? And it says chimpanzees are not monkeys, but apes. And chimpanzees, so I guess technically speaking, well, they definitely kill each other all the time. I'm basically looking at Caesar. But they also just murder and eat monkeys. All like that is their main one of the main parts of their diet.
Well, yeah, but it's just back in real world, not in the society that they're trying to build. So it's a philosophy that he's trying to instill. It's not just like a thing that happens. Oh, nowadays, right now in the hierarchy, apes don't kill apes. That's not what's happening right now. That's not what I'm saying. In the movie. I am saying. Can you not suspend some disbelief?
I do suspend some disbelief, but there's still going to be the animal instinct of what they had. Just because they have their third eye open doesn't mean the instincts go away.
Conscious brain. Yeah, but then now we're also trying to split hairs on what their instinct would be.
This is how I watch the movies, dude. I don't know what to tell you. When I'm watching a movie, this is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I know, but in that moment, that's not suspending. But that's not suspending disbelief. If you're splitting hairs of seeing, like, okay, so if this was really happening, how instinctually would they be? That's not suspending disbelief.
I agree.
So that's what I'm talking about. When I go into a situation like that, I'm suspending everything.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just saying, and my point of that is again, it kind of just plays into the idea where it's just like, no, there's just peaceful tribal people who only eat fruit and berries.
That's what Caesar's trying, because he sees them as better than
I understand
the past.
But they eat.
That's fine that they do currently. Many mammals in the animal kingdom eat their own.
Yes.
There's
That
a lot
is-
of
that-
cannibalistic.
But you didn't see any of that in Planet of the
because
Apes.
that's not the important part. You
I
you
want
mean
to
to
see.
tell
I want to see real. Dude.
I am also very unsold on if that was happening in the world. The humans that we saw in the movie were way too civilized than what would actually be happening.
I mean, but there's not. It's not like decades have passed. These people had memories of before that. So
How long has it been? Because a lot of overgrowth has been taking over.
Oh, dude, you should see some pictures of these cities once like buildings get evacuated. It really only takes like a handful of years before.
How many?
Like 5 at most. Like it's literally just a handful.
Let me see how much
nature
time
overgrows these. Will overgrow a house and a city in no time. So it doesn't take that long. Yeah, there's some wild pictures of, I can't remember where they are, but
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is 10 years after the first one.
yeah, that would be plenty of time. That'd be plenty of time.
Okay.
So yeah, like that. So again, but only 10 years. So a lot of these people.
And then War is 2 years after Dawn.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense because they called the military
And then-
as they were blowing up the
And then
tower.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is generations later.
Okay, gotcha. So obviously the humans, I mean, in that storyline,
It's
didn't
been long
succeed.
enough to where they don't remember, so to speak. But I haven't seen the movie.
I was gonna say they may make reference to it. I
well, they
mean,
may but you don't have anybody. I remember
dude.
working at the plant.
No, I want them to share stories of Caesar though. The main chimp. You know? That's what I want. What are you looking at?
More Planet of the Apes.
I
like these movies.
I also like these movies. They're much better than there's no bestiality in these.
No,
That's something that I appreciate.
Marky Mark doesn't kiss any monkeys in this one.
No monkeys getting kissed besides the other monkeys, and they have baby monkeys, which are cute.
Baby monkeys were cute.
Baby monkeys are cute.
Baby monkeys are cute. It's like they're like people. It's crazy.
They're just
Actually,
like people.
no.
Dude.
A human baby is is so much more inferior than a baby monkey.
I wouldn't. When you say inferior, you're just talking like biologically. Well, because here's the thing: in the animal kingdom, human beings are really the only thing that come out pretty defenseless.
That's what I'm talking
everything else
about.
Stays like
Yeah.
is very like strong.
It
and
can
sturdy.
like do things when it's born.
Yeah. Yes, that
Humans,
is, yeah.
their skull isn't even fully formed.
No, there's soft spots.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that. So I was just asking for.
They can't even
clarification.
stand.
I was asking for clarification when you said inferior. so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand. Yeah, they're just for some reason humans just don't develop as much in the womb. Just enough to just
Which is-
breathe.
I wonder
And eat.
if maybe it used to not always be like that. Because you know how we no longer get the same nutrients from our food? I wonder if that has, over generations, affected how we are even incubated.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's an interesting theory. I mean, if you even just talk about biblically how they've written about it, they talk about like, newborns as baby lambs. Baby lambs can move around a lot. So if you're trying to equate the two, you would assume that maybe like that'd be wild if baby just comes out and is able to walk.
Sup?
Sup, ma? When it comes to this parts of the movie, I think they did a good job where it has like they did the rebellious teenager bit pretty well, but it wasn't like he just got emo.
No,
it was like a tribal.
And
like,
I really
rebellion.
bought that whole journey of it's the little things that if you're looking at him, he like reacts to it. He hears it. It's resonating with him here in these moments, and you see it slowly. Like he's not understanding Caesar's wisdom. He's listening to Koba.
Well, because he's young and emotional.
Exactly,
And, like
and
Caesar says,
and that comes
Koba's
across.
only-
They deliver that really well.
Yeah, I like that they give it's just interesting seeing the monkeys give the facial expressions because
Yeah.
you can track the emotion a lot.
Yeah.
And which
Oh.
the animators did a great job with. I'm
The
excited
end
to see
scene
how it goes.
where it's literally just the close up of Caesar's eyes. It's photorealistic.
Yeah, it's really
It's
really good.
insane.
But that's also kind of how it started also, which is interesting. How it began is kind of how it ends.
What do you mean?
Well, because it started with a close up of Caesar's eye at the beginning.
Of the
Or
first
like
one?
like an ape's eye.
Of the first one?
Of the second one. It opens up and it's like a close up of his I don't know if it's Caesar, but of another ape's eye.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
No, so it's funny how they kind of
That is a cool
How it
detail.
starts is how it ends.
That is a cool detail.
They're good stories.
See, I have to watch movies like 4 times in order to really like take everything in.
Yeah, at least good stories,
Yeah.
good movies.
There's many details.
I like Koba as a bad guy. I think they did a good job with making it to where apes would be following the alpha, and Caesar was right. Like if he's weak, the apes aren't going to follow him. But they make it kind of where it's like a dumb ape thing that happens. Why humans don't follow weak humans? Like animals don't follow weak animals.
Wait, what are you
But-
talking about? A dumb ape thing?
Well, in Caesar's explanation, when he's talking about, he's like, no, they won't follow me if I'm weak.
Well, because
and he gives the reason is because that's just how apes are. He doesn't say it like that, like I'm saying it, but the summary of his information is that's just how apes
well,
are.
in a tribe, you would just follow the strongest. The strongest would be the leader.
All animals
Yeah,
do that,
so-
but he made it seem like in his explanation that's just
I
something
didn't
that apes
get
do.
that
I know
impression.
that's what I'm saying.
Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
So when he was giving his explanation, it was because of that. I'm like, well, everything is that way, besides bugs.
Well, that's what he was implying.
No, he wasn't. He was saying that was specifically an ape quality.
No, he was saying that
That's
he
what
was
I- that's-
reminding him how that's how apes are.
Yes, exactly. And it wasn't. That's just how everything is. It's
Well,
this
he
is
doesn't- he
specifically.
wasn't talking
that's
about
my,
everything.
That's my point.
Yeah.
He said they made it seem like that was just an ape quality. I'm like, well, no, actually, that's just what every.
I didn't think he
living thing does.
needed to fully encompass everything. I didn't think he needed to be all inclusive with.
Well, it was a specific separation between the two. It wasn't meant to be like, well, no, that goes without saying. It was like, no, it was a specific separation between. Oh no, well, humans.
Thought he was just talking about the
No,
situation
no,
at
it was-
hand.
No, the idea behind, at least this is what I got from it, from watching it, is that it was giving the idea that the ethics behind what the apes were doing is just because they were scared apes. It had nothing to do with the fact that that's just how living things are.
Well, they
I'm not saying
also-
that apes are just like humans.
Well,
I'm
in
just
that
saying,
moment,
like,
in that moment, they were scared, and they were just following the next in line.
Yes.
Because they had spent so much time afraid of humans. They were out in the woods, and then they think that
I
a human.
understand.
Yeah. So
I understand. I'm just saying his explanation was giving it like there was a separation. Like he's just saying this is just what dumb apes do.
I didn't
Like,
get that at all.
I understand. This is why I'm saying this because this is what I got out of
Gotcha.
it. So like it's fine. Like if you didn't, but you also didn't get
Yeah.
the last part that I
Yeah.
said. So we can watch it again. I don't care. I'm just saying like there's just these things that get put in these movies that it's obvious things that they do. It doesn't make the story any worse. It's just things that I notice where I'm like, okay, well that's not there's-
yeah.
I can suspend disbelief in the moment, but once you like are sitting back and thinking about it, you're like, okay, well, yeah, but this is that, not that.
Yeah.
That's how I see a movie, personally.
Yeah. I thought the war scenes were really good
They did a very good job with that. They
with the
gave
monkeys riding into the city. I thought that was extremely cool.
And that's the other thing. It was like Koba took the personality of the bear. He was screeching as he would go, and he was just yelling and shooting his gun off and everything
Yeah.
like that. He devolved basically to just angry yelling.
Into the primitive.
Yeah, the animal.
Yeah.
So I think they did a very good job with him as a villain. I think they did a good job with giving the personality to the other apes. That gave
If
him
he had
character.
remained separated from the humans, then he probably would have been rehabilitated.
There's a chance, but I honestly don't know if that was really ever going to be in the cards because Koba was under the impression that like all the humans were not there. Because the little conversation that Maurice and Caesar have at the beginning where he's talking about, do you even think of the humans like
Yeah.
that? Because he's talking about it in the sense that all he ever knew was the bad sides. Koba's only ever known the bad sides.
Right.
So he doesn't even think about humans in that way, and he tries to not think about humans. In his mind, in his world, it's, oh, there are no humans anymore. Life is grand. And as soon as he sees humans again,
It's immediately brought all back.
yeah, and he's oh no, these only mean this one thing.
Right.
And then he goes about just and creates that so that way he can do it. And I like the detail of him behaving like just like a show monkey when he was in the armory.
Yeah.
And to like take away their mind for a little bit because it was like that. It was like a twisted game because then it gave you suspense. You're like, is he about to snap and kill these dudes?
Exactly.
Eventually he does, but again, you're just kind of sitting there on the edge because it gives you that moment where it's like, oh, he's just playing right now. Like, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was a good manipulation moment.
I agree. I think that, yeah, I just think I like how the characters came about and everything.
Yeah. Really well designed world. Being in San Francisco, kind of seeing an overgrown San Francisco is really pretty.
I'm looking up. Hold on, I want to find out something really fast. What's some other things that you liked about it?
Let's see. I just genuinely enjoyed seeing the cooperation between Caesar and the humans in the first little bit. Yes, everything gets a little more tense when the shotgun gets snuck in. I also don't know. That's such an interesting character to write. To have, I know that they needed things to happen in order to progress the story, but that was clearly such a stupid thing to try and do, to try and sneak that shotgun in there.
Yeah, and I think those are parts where it's like, okay, this is just the ignorant, like, I don't know, dude, the ignorant city worker. Basically, he just worked on the dam. Like, he was just, he was just that guy from the Bronx.
Yeah.
Just doesn't trust anybody. There's a lot of ignorance that was going into his character. I guess that's the only way you can really describe it.
Yeah. I liked everyone else, though.
Yeah, I did too. I'm trying to look up something specific because I want to know how many years it was from this one and, what was it, Rise of the Planet of the Apes?
I already told you.
Whatever you said, dude.
10 years.
No, I know in the storyline. Oh, no, in like real life.
Oh,
I thought you were talking in the storyline. It was 10 years in between the two.
Yeah.
Release dates.
Gotcha.
Is 10 years.
What?
Yeah. Release date 2001 for Planet of the Apes. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I was looking at the Mark Wahlberg one. That was
Oh, gotcha.
Rise of the Planet of the Apes which is with James Franco, 2011. The next one was made in 2014.
And then the third one was 17.
So, noticing like production-wise, do you notice a big difference between the two?
Yeah, I would say so.
I'll be honest, I don't really notice a big difference
Really?
between like the CGI of the two. They both seem very similar. I'm excited to see because I feel like, at least in my memory, there's not much variation between like, I want to say maybe like 2010 to 2014, I'd say. I want to see the big jump from 2015 from what the 2011 one was.
Gotcha.
That's what I want to see because they seem very similar from the 2011 to 2014.
Okay.
They feel to me.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought it was beautiful. Thought it was very pretty.
I like the scenery a lot.
The Muir Woods is a wonderful area of the country.
I'm talking more about like what the apes look like and everything like that. Like they look good.
Yeah.
But there's still, you can tell that it's dated
because
CGI.
in the beginning of Rise, when you see Caesar as a young chimp, and then in this one we get to see a different baby monkey. I thought that there was it blended better with the environment, with its background, with where it was in the scene, especially with the human. Like, yes, Rise was very impressive, but I would say I agree with you. It wasn't like astronomical of a difference, but yeah, it wasn't Avatar.
No, of course, there is no other Avatar besides
But these
Avatar.
still look really good.
No, they don't look bad. They don't look bad.
They still.
I mean, you can't compare it to like Avatar and Dune and all that. Like the CGI for this is so different. It's a totally different type of movie.
Yeah.
And then not even saying that it necessarily looked bad, especially in the scenes that were a little bit of the darker forests or the jungles or when they were in the darker of the night. They can make it look a lot better. It's just when you do CGI in the daytime, it's rough. You gotta have good CGI, otherwise it's very clear that's not like a real thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like it. It was a very good movie. It's funny. This one, I don't know. It has a 7.6 star rating, I assume, out of 10. I don't know what it got on Rotten
Metascore?
Tomatoes. Oh, IMBD.
Ah.
Or IMDb. I don't know what the Rotten Tomatoes score is, but... Oh. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. This one has a Rotten Tomatoes... Whoa. The Dawn of the Planet of the Apes has a 91 on the tomato meter and an audience score of 88. So, pretty high. Pretty high. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I like Koba's character, even just how he looks.
They did a very good job making him look like that.
Yeah, there's a picture of him right here. And he's just a mean looking monkey, dude. Mean looking monkey.
Phew.
I also really like the character of Maurice.
Maurice is such a good one.
Yeah, dude, he's like one of the best. One of my favorites. I'm very excited to see War of the Planet of the Apes because I've never seen it before.
Yeah, that one I shed a tear at the end.
Really?
Yeah. That one made me tear up.
So obviously Caesar dies.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, obviously Mom also said it last night. So
yeah, she did.
Really? Whatever.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like you said. It's not like he was going to live forever.
No. I don't go into these movies with animals assuming they live forever.
Yeah, but where in the movie does he die?
Probably at the very beginning.
Okay.
No, probably at the end, dude, because that's how those movies were done.
Spoiler alert. War for the Planet of the Apes. He lives.
No, he doesn't. Mom would not have lied.
You don't know? Mother is a filthy liar.
Mom, I'm sorry if you're listening to this far into the podcast.
Dude, she would never listen this far into the podcast.
41 minutes? No.
I'd be surprised if anyone has listened to this far in the podcast.
Dad doesn't even listen to this far into the podcast, dude.
No. Do you?
Yeah, I edit these, dude. I listen to every second of this. 41's probably not going to be the total run length of this episode when I release it. So
no.
It'll probably be a little closer to, probably 35. Yeah. There's probably only like 5 minutes.
Yeah. We went on for forever about Parachute Express.
Yeah, but that was interesting because I hadn't thought about that in a long time.
JJ to the jet plane with nightmares.
Mm-hmm. So, well, I'll be putting up a picture of JJ the jet plane anytime we talk about JJ the jet plane.
Dude, it's so crazy.
Mm-hmm. They took Thomas the Train and made it weird.
Scary.
Made it really scary. Yeah.
Because Thomas was at least a toy.
Yeah.
They gave him human colored skin.
I would argue that the biggest problem was the fact that there's not right angles on a plane. There's something very comforting of the fact that there's the trains where they have like flat areas, their softer sides. This is all just some weird foreign, like smooth.
It's so smooth,
round, weird fleshy thing. Like, yeah, they did not. A plane with a face does not translate well at all. It's a thing of nightmares. I feel like there's something from a video game that has something very similar to that style, where it's like a human face on just like a black warm body. It's weird, but yeah. So yeah,
I know a lot of the Zelda games for the 64 had some funky animations.
Yeah, similar, I'd say. Okay. Yeah. Well, dude, 43 minutes in.
Dude, it's only 8:22. That was a heavy yawn for 8:22.
Yeah, dude, I'm tired, man. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
I had to clean up a lot of human pee.
Oh, God.
I hate it.
I don't envy your job.
Everybody, subscribe. Please, for the love of God, subscribe.
If you've made it this far, you owe us that. Well, actually, I don't know if you owe us.
But I'm begging you to please
But
do
I am
that.
begging you. You've already lost this much of your life. Who cares about one more thing?
You can come on the show and we'll interview you if you subscribe.
Crazy. That'd be so fun. If we just started interviewing people.
Well, if we just started getting 1 million subscribers from me saying that'd be much different. If that happens, we're not doing that.
We're not interviewing a single person.
Not a single person. It's just cool to know you guys want to. All right. Well, everybody, when we return, we will be probably doing either the next Planet of the Apes or
Dune Part 2.
Dune Part 2. We haven't decided yet. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Until then.
Okay. Farewell.
Bye.